being attached to what you like, it doesn't mean that you can't like what you like. But when you're only okay with getting what you like, and you're not okay with getting what you don't like, or you're not okay with not getting what you like, the attachment and the fact that we're only okay when we get what we like, that very thing engenders and creates this spark of fear, of worry, of anxiety. Because we're afraid that we'll get what we don't like. And we think that there's something wrong with getting something we don't like pain or anger or fear, sadness. But really, every emotion and every experience is okay in and of itself. Our okayness and our attachment to only having what we want and having what we like creates fear and worry, anxiety. That fear engenders anger and violence, violent thoughts. That anger and violence engenders cruelty, and behaviors and thoughts that create pain. So the idea here is to start being okay, embracing all of it. Embracing the fear, embracing the discomfort, embracing anger and sadness, embracing what is in that moment. Even if that moment is a reactionary moment. So say you want what you want, and because fear is engendered in that very desire, fear is engendered in that very desire of wanting what you want. Because we all know that there's a possibility we won't get it, or that we might get it, but it will end, or it won't be quite what we want. It will just be kind of what we want. So inevitably, in every desire for what you want, there is the seed of fear. So even if you want what you want, there's the seed of fear, and that fear engenders some sort of anger or blame or mistrust or something because you're of whatever is the obstacle you perceive of not getting what you want. And you have a reaction to that. Even in that moment, the moment of reaction to all of that, if you accept the reaction, the experience of blame or anger, and you fully embrace, okay, anger is here. Now what? Am I going to push it away yet again, creating another cycle because of this desire of I don't want to feel anger. I want to be okay. I want to be happy. Then we run into a whole nother cycle. Okay, well, there's fear engendered in that desire to not be angry. And then it creates another more anger or more frustration or more fear or more sadness, right? So it's like an endless cycle. And the way to break that cycle is to become very present to what is, to recognize it's an experience. And in truth, it really has nothing to do with who you are. It's just an experience. And what freedom comes, what fearlessness comes when you are okay to experience whatever is present in that moment. That is the breaking of the cycle. That's the breaking of the endless loop of pain and fear and anger and desire. It's an endless cycle. And to break it is this freedom and a fearlessness that you know that you're okay no matter what comes, because you don't have control over what comes. You don't have control over what happens in the world, and you don't even have much control over what happens in your mind. We think we do, but really we know we don't. We have thoughts that we don't want. We have feelings that we don't want. We didn't go looking for them. Yet due to our lack of self-understanding and our lack of willingness to just experience what is, we unconsciously create the same, those things that we don't want. We didn't even know we were doing it. That's called being unconscious. There's nothing wrong in it. It's just an unawareness and unknowing of how we're creating our own suffering through our resistance, through our refusal to be with what is. So in this practice, some people call it non-attachment. Some people call it affectionate non-attachment or affectionate detachment. This idea that we're not so attached to only what we want. And in that teaching, some people become afraid. They become afraid that we're saying that we can't get what we want, that we can't enjoy what we like, that we have to somehow suppress our preferences or our likes. And that's not the case at all. What actually is happening is a movement toward unconditional love, a movement toward not just being okay when you get what you want and being devastated when you don't. It's a movement towards actually being not just okay, but actually enjoying and thriving in life no matter what comes. You can still enjoy the things you enjoy. But now you can also enjoy the things that you didn't enjoy. You can enjoy life. And then here's what happens. All the things that you were resisting and all the things you did not enjoy before, and that caused a lot of pain and fear and anger and torment, those were seeping your life force. They were draining your energy. They were taking away from the quality of enthusiasm and vitality and joy for being alive, because we didn't want to feel those things and we didn't want to be alive to feel those things. We didn't want to have a life of that, right? That's a very draining on your vital systems. It's draining on your organs, it's draining on your mind, it's draining on your body, and it's draining of your life force. So what happens when it's okay to experience whatever is happening in this moment? It's okay to experience anger. Who knew? It's okay to experience sadness. Oh, okay. What happens when it's okay to experience those things fully is that they become a supportive force, a reinforcement of your vitality, a reinforcement of your vigor, a reinforcement of your enthusiasm to be alive. They support it. They anchor it. They create this strong current of life force in vitality and enthusiasm. That's what this whole practice is really moving us toward. A fearlessness to engage with life as it is, because we're not thinking that I'm this little person that is alone in this world, that's separate and that only likes what I like. I only want to have this kind of life. I only want to do this kind of thing. It's very limiting and it's very fear-based, because inevitably we're going to experience things we don't like. It's in the nature of life. So why not become okay with what is and start enjoying all of life and allowing everything, allowing pain, allowing sadness, allowing anger, allowing love, allowing creativity, allowing everything that we consider good and bad to actually support our life force rather than drain us. Because the other way around, the attachment to the things that you want, the strong attachment to that, it not only drains your life because of the fear and the anger that it produces that are inherent in it, because we know that we're not always going to experience what we like. But even when we're experiencing what we like, when we have a strong attachment to something and we get to experience it, oh, isn't this great? Even our experience of it is filled with fear of for the moment that it will end, or for the moment it won't be quite as good as this. So even when you get to experience the things that you like and the things that you want, it's not even fulfilling. So saying yes to what is, to being present in the moment, has nothing to do with being a certain way of like, oh, okay, I'm going to be neutral, I'm not going to be reactive, I'm not going to feel anything but a state of calm. That's not what this is about. It's about really being with what is. And sometimes what is tumultuous. Sometimes it's a big storm. Sometimes it's a deep sadness. Sometimes it's a great joy. Sometimes you're soaking up the sun. It's a nice warm day with a cool breeze. Sometimes it's cold and rainy. It's about being with what is. Sometimes there's anger. Sometimes there's excitement. It's not rejecting it. It's embracing it and saying, hey, come on, be part of my life force here. Yes, you are welcome here. Okay. And what happens when you start welcoming those unwelcome emotions and experiences? What happens? They start working for you rather than against you. And that's something you just have to experience. You can't really believe it until you experience how these energies that feel destructive within you could actually be supportive. And that's the part of the self-discovery. That's the part that you just have to experience for yourself by practicing. And you can say, is that true? I don't believe it. I don't care if you believe it. Just try it. Just try it. Come to see. Is that true? Because cool. Wouldn't that be cool if it was true? Why go around thinking it's not true and not even giving it a try? You know, it's like green eggs and ham. You keep saying, I don't like green eggs and ham. I don't like green eggs and ham. Leave me alone. I'm not going to eat them. I don't want to do it. I just don't like it. I already know. And you haven't even given it a try. And then all of a sudden you give it a try. You're like, oh my gosh, why didn't I try these sooner? I love green eggs and ham. I'm going to do it. I'm going to eat them everywhere, no matter who I'm with. A mouse or a fox or a house or a tree or a car or a train or a dark or the rain. It's pretty amazing. Give it a try.